I used to bartend. Nothing fancy. A dive off the freeway where the walls were stained with nicotine and the jukebox only played country songs about murder or cheating or both. The regulars were the kind of men who kept their fists in their pockets and their regrets in their livers. I liked it. There was a rhythm to it. Pour, nod, cash. No questions. I'd been there 5 years. 5 years of mopping blood and vomit, hiding coke in the ice machine when the cops rolled through, smiling through threats and drunken confessions. You don't last 5 years in a place like that unless you learn to see without staring, listen without reacting, and move fast when the vibe turns. I thought I'd seen it all. I hadn't. It happened on a Tuesday, dead night, rain tapping the roof like teeth, just one guy in the corner, passed out with a half-smoked cigarette stuck to his lip. I was cleaning pint glasses, watching a roach crawl under the register when they came in. 3 of them. All wrong. Not the usual kind of wrong, not tweaker wrong or drunk wrong. This was surgical wrong, like someone had drawn men from memory but got the details slightly off. Too alert, too symmetrical. No smell. That was the part that chilled me. Every person who walked into that bar carried a scent. Cologne, sweat, piss, desperation. These guys smelled like nothing, like static. They didn't order, didn't sit. One of them just reached into his coat. I saw the glint of the barrel and dropped behind the bar like instinct. My hand found the Glock taped under the sink. 2 shots. First guy went down gurgling. The second fired back. Splinters exploded from the counter, missed my face by inches. I came up and shot him twice in the chest. He collapsed, but his eyes kept moving. The third ran. I vaulted the bar and caught him in the leg. He fell hard, screaming, crawled for the door like an animal. I stood over him, breathing hard, and that's when I realized something that still keeps me awake. I wasn't scared, not during, not after. I was calm, efficient, like I'd done it before. That was the first red flag. The cops came, took my statement, watched the footage, patted my back. Hero bartender saves the day. There were articles, interviews, one of those local news spots with bad music and stock footage of beer pouring in slow motion. But it didn't last. A week later, someone leaked the full security tape. People slowed it down, frame by frame, said my shots were too precise, too fast, said it looked like an execution. The families of the dead sued, said their sons weren't robbers, just actors or patsies. Conspiracy forums lit up. MK Ultra bartender. False flag dive bar massacre. I lost my job, my apartment. Someone smashed my windshield. My landlord stopped answering my calls. Then I got the envelope. No return address, just a thumb drive inside. I plugged it in and watched. Surveillance footage, not from the bar, from outside it. A different angle. Maybe a security camera from the deli across the street. Grainy, jittery footage. The 3 guys walk in. 3 seconds later, another man follows. Hood up, tall, thin. He doesn't enter. He walks past the door, stops at the edge of the frame. Then he just stands there, watching. Even when the first shots go off, he doesn't flinch, doesn't move, just tilts his head like he's listening to a song only he can hear. And then he turns, walks into the alley. Clip ends. 1 text file on the drive. There were 4. After that, everything unraveled. I started seeing shadows where there shouldn't be shadows. A car parked outside my new place for 3 nights in a row. Lights off. Someone always in the driver's seat. I walked out with a baseball bat. The car peeled off before I reached it. I moved. Again, didn't matter. New address, new city, new name. Still, I found signs. A coin on my doorstep, a matchbook in my mailbox, messages scrawled in marker behind mirrors in hotel bathrooms. Do you remember what you did? I tried to ignore it, told myself it was paranoia. Until I came home one night and found a man sitting on my couch. Dark suit, pale hands, no gun, no threat, just a smile. You passed, he said. I didn't speak. The first phase anyway, but we need to talk about what comes next. He left a folder on my kitchen table. Inside, photos of me as a kid, school records, a psych eval from a facility I didn't remember being in. A letter in handwriting that matched mine, but I never wrote it. At the bottom, "You agreed to this." Then the blackouts began. I'd wake up in strange places. A farmhouse surrounded by fields of corn I didn't recognize. A penthouse suite in Chicago, champagne flutes still cold. Once, in a bath full of ice with a scar along my side. Always with something left behind. A business card, a key, a number tattooed on my thigh. 04. I started dreaming in static, faces melting, commands whispered in binary. I wrote one on my arm in my sleep. No idea what it meant, but when I searched it, something triggered. A blinking dot on an old laptop I hadn't touched in years. It booted into a partition I didn't remember creating. Inside, a map, a flight path, and a countdown. 3 days. I packed a bag, stole a car, and followed the signal. Across the desert, no music, just static on the radio. Until it wasn't static, until it spoke. My voice reversed, laughing. I reached the coordinates just before sunset. Middle of nowhere. One dead gas station, one rusted windmill, and a storm brewing fast. The signal led me to a trapdoor under the floorboards. My hands knew the code. Inside, another folder. Another letter, same handwriting. Phase 2, reintegration. Below that, a syringe, a key card, a Polaroid of a woman I'd never met, but recognized instantly. The caption, "She knows what they made you forget." I found her 3 states east, living under a new name, working nights in a diner that didn't exist on Google Maps. When I sat down, she didn't blink. "They said you'd come," she said, pouring coffee. I asked her who they were. She smiled, sad. "You did." Then she reached under the counter and handed me a coin. One side blank, the other, a 4-pointed star, burned into the metal. "You flipped this," she said. "Years ago. Chose this path. Chose them. I begged you not to." I tried to remember. Nothing but flashes, heat, screaming, a doorway that wouldn't open. She looked over her shoulder. "You don't have long." "Until what?" "Until you forget again." I woke up the next morning in a motel bathtub. No memory of how I got there. The coin clutched in my fist. A burn on my chest, same 4-pointed star. I'd lost 2 days. On the wall, written in soap, "Raven is a door." I followed that phrase through forums, databanks, IRC ghosts. I tracked ex-operatives, psych ward runaways, people who had drawn the same symbol in their sleep. One of them showed me a photo. Black and white, faded. 4 figures, blurry, standing in a circle. One was me. The others had faces made of static. I went off-grid, started building a bunker, bought books I couldn't read, in languages I'd never studied but understood anyway. My handwriting began to change, more angular, precise, like schematics, for something alive. I stopped dreaming, or maybe I started staying inside the dream, because reality began to shift. Glitches, a man waving at me in 2 places at once, the same bird flying past my window every day, at the exact same second, my reflection blinking when I didn't, and always the same phrase in my head, "The 5th remembers you." Then I saw him, at first just in reflections, then across the street, then closer. He looked like me, but off, wrong symmetry, left-handed, a birthmark I never had, a scar on his throat that itched when I stared too long. He started sending me things, a strip of film with no images, a tape that only played silence, a child's drawing of 5 stick figures, one upside down, the 5th one, me, him, both. I checked myself into a facility, voluntarily, to get help, but the doctor already knew my name. Not my legal name, not the fake one either, the original. Now I'm writing this in a room that doesn't exist. No doors, no clocks. Just this terminal. Just this message. Phase 3, convergence. I think they want me to remember everything, but I already do. I remember the chair, the words, the trigger. I remember what I was built to do. But more than that, more than the missions and the protocols and the blood, I remember choosing to forget. I wanted to forget. And now I remember why. Because there isn't just a fifth, there's a sixth. And he's not outside. He's in here, watching me type, smiling.